Hello.
Hello.
Hi. It was so quiet I wondered if anybody could hear me. This is Claire.
Yeah, hi, this is Dr. Seikos. Can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear. Thank you.
Fantastic.
And I see Dr. Pere is on too, but I think she's just on her computer. I don't see any sound for you, Dr. Pere. And we'll wait till 12:15 and start. And then I only talk for maybe about 15 minutes, just giving a quick update on a couple of things that you as board members should know.
Good.
I will try not to cough and cough. At the age of 45, never in my life have I had allergies, but somehow magically I have allergies.
Well, you're at such a young age. Your immune status should be perfect, so you have nothing to worry about.
Well, I kept saying, what is this cough? What is this itchy throat? What are these itchy eyes? And my 9-year-old has big time allergies. He's like, Mommy, I think you have allergies. So I keep a glass of water close.
So have there been a lot of members that have signed on for the webinar tomorrow with Dr. Levine?
Yes, we have over 200 already. We actually had at least one person renew their expired membership in order to participate.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
You know, as a matter of fact, locally, I've been queried a lot by the press and news media concerning this coronavirus. It certainly has kept me busy, but also a local university is having a seminar, and they are hosting a number of panelists, and I was asked to be involved with that in about a week or so. So that's getting a lot of notoriety, and has been in the press a lot. So that's a plus. And again, where I'm coming from is preparedness and educate, but don't panic.
Right, right. That's what we're trying to do too. We are definitely getting inquiries as well. I'm going to cover that here. And actually I have 12:14, so we probably could, I'll wait one more minute and then we'll get started. Dr. Seikos, where are you located?
In the Wimber-Johnstown area, that's about 90 miles east of Pittsburgh, and it's probably about 150 miles from Harrisburg or so.
I actually know exactly where Wimber is because I went to UPJ.
Is that right? So did I. I started. I started there, but at that particular time, UPJ was not 4 years, and I transferred to what I used to say main campus, Pitt. They don't like that anymore here in this area. They like you to say the Oakland campus. But my wife did graduate from UPJ.
And Marty did as well, actually.
So wow, we have an alumnus group here amongst ourselves.
And he and I overlapped. His last year was my first year. We did not know each other, but we were there at the same time, funny enough.
And I was before the both of you, I would say substantially, but I don't want to repeat that.
It was 4 years by the time I got there. All right, guys. I see a number of people have jumped on, and it is 12:15, so I will get started. Thank you, guys, all for joining. This is a very casual discussion, and what we did is after the last House of Delegates and the retreat, you know, what we said is we just need to kind of try to make board members aware of things that are going on and offerings that don't necessarily come up during the board meetings or don't necessarily make it, you know, to your desk, but things that you as board members might get asked about, if you're talking to a non-member and they might say, for example, today, you know, I've not seen anything that PMed has done with regard to the coronavirus. You would be prepared with those tools and things to answer them by. So that's sort of the focus of these webinars, just kind of quick, you know, run down through a couple of things. So today, obviously, the coronavirus, as Dr. Sikos and I were just discussing, is for sure the topic of the day. So for those of you who have logged in through Zoom and have the screen in front of you, hopefully you're seeing my Prepare, Don't Panic page. Are you guys seeing that?
Yes.
Okay. I am not, sadly, even though I'm Director of Communications, when I do these Zoom meetings, I'm always wondering what people see on the other end of the line. So we did we did have a coronavirus page definitely for several weeks already. It's pamedsoc.org/coronavirus. So if you do go to actually the home page, you will see that my computer's moving slowly. You'll see here that anybody that comes to the home page, the first thing they will see is the Prepare, Don't Panic logo that we're using for the coronavirus everywhere that we're sharing that information. What we have found, if you were with us last time, we discussed briefly that what we know from our statistics is that our non-members come to the homepage and kind of click around. The biggest thing they come to us for is education, followed closely by advocacy. So our members are not likely coming here. How our members are getting to the coronavirus page is through the dose or other emails. You probably saw our email go out on Thursday, kind of just announcing, hey, we updated our page. We're going to continue to update our page. We did send a special email. That's where most of our members will click through, but either way, though, everybody will land at the /coronavirus page, and this is what they will see. So we are updating this regularly, and we are getting from many different resources, people sending us resources, our staff is seeing resources. Obviously, it's everywhere. But what we're trying to do is bring that information and those resources together and put like is the most pertinent one-stop information there for you, so that you as physicians don't have to necessarily look everywhere for those kind of resources, and that seeing that, you know, you will not necessarily have to go other places to find information. That's what we're hoping to do. So we're not necessarily creating new content, but we're pulling together what the CDC is saying, what the World Health Organization is saying, what the Pennsylvania Department of Health is saying, and putting it in one place for you. So what we try to do is put some of the pertinent information for physicians here first. One of the biggest things we're getting questions about is education. So you can click on the education here. The clinical considerations, again, from, you know, the trusted sources, the CDC, WHO, those sorts of things. The notices, so if you want to receive the network advisories in your email, that's here. Some preparedness resources for your office. So there's posters and patient information, videos. And then we do have some things for patients because we do tend to, when these things happen, patients land on our site as well. So the patients are coming here and there's some resources for them as well. Back in early February, we did have a media call-in. We left this here, at least for now. Dr. Tirapathy, who is an infectious disease physician and a member, did a nice media call-in for us and kind of the basics, what is it, how can you prevent it, those sort of things. So for now, we're leaving that there. It may be replaced tomorrow at noon. We will be doing a call-in with Dr. Rachel Levine of the Department of Health. This is, to me, a huge member benefit because of a couple things. Dr. Levine has asked us to provide this only to our membership. So to register, you have to log in, and we are checking membership. We actually have had at least one person that I know renew their expired membership in order to participate. And once we do the call tomorrow, by the end of the day, the recording will be here as well. Probably will replace Dr. Tirapathy's presentation with the Dr. Levine discussion. The value, I think, is a couple of things. One is obviously that we have access to the Secretary of Health, but also that she has asked us to lock this down to our membership so that she knows she's talking clinician to clinician and she doesn't have those outside forces. We've had some requests by press and so forth. We're really working to keep it that it is just our physician members. So I think that will be very valuable. And she does intend to discuss, what do I do if I suspect I have a patient that has coronavirus? What do I do if they're in my office? We will also have Mike Siggett with us, and he will address, at least generally, some of the HIPAA considerations. Again, if you have a coronavirus patient or you suspect you have a patient that may have coronavirus in your office. So that's tomorrow at 12. So I'm very excited about that. We have over 200 people already registered. We talked to her last, or her staff last, I think it was Thursday. We just heard from them yesterday around lunchtime and they said, hey, on Thursday, can we do it at noon? And so we just got the notice out yesterday around 5 o'clock, and we're already over 200 people. So it's a nice, valuable thing that we're doing for our membership there.
Claire, Dr. Sikos, I think this is huge. I've been talking to physicians on our staff, emergency room physicians, as I make rounds through the hospital, and they're asking me, and I said, this is a huge membership benefit. So I've been pushing this, in the past, talking about, other things that affect physicians, such as venue and some of the Supreme Court decisions. But this thing is just an opportune time, and it's, as you said, it's very, very pertinent for the docs, our patients. There's a lot of awareness concerning this, so I think this is huge, and I'm glad that you folks were able to respond in such a timely fashion with this.
I'm glad that you agree that it's valuable. I'm very excited about the call specifically, and I was extremely excited for her to request that we only allow members. Sometimes when you're working with the government bodies, they want us to include everybody, and I understand, you're disseminating public health information, of course, but when she said, would you mind locking it down to members, I said, no, not at all. So I'm excited about that too. If there, is there any questions about it? That leads me to my next discussion of membership. Is there any questions on coronavirus before I move on to membership?
Just one question that I have, and maybe I could address that tomorrow, but I think a big issue here in this area is the availability of quick turnaround for testing. And in your opinion, will Dr. Levine address that issue?
Yes, she did allude to it, and she did a media call in yesterday, and she did discuss that briefly, and so I do anticipate that, excuse me, she will also address that
Good.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
So I did want to just update you all as board members as well on our membership kind of timeline. The membership year runs from, kind of on paper, it runs from January 1st to December 31st. We have kind of this lengthy grace period that we've had over years that we really don't remove positions who've not paid until March 1st. So that we did the same thing this year. They got several reminders and notices and so forth. In February, we had really a record all hands on deck event where we had almost the entire PA Med staff, many of the team staff, and several county executives participate in divvying up that list of physicians who had not renewed and calling them. And we got nearly 200 physicians to renew through that effort. So that was really, really great. And we also have we still have more coming in, even though we have discontinued the membership of those who've not renewed. At this point, we're probably about 600 physicians behind where we were last year. I think I want to explain, a couple of points there on that. One of the biggest things that has occurred over this last year that is new for us is residency programs are requiring the opioids and the CME, or the opioids and the child abuse CME for residents every year. So they are getting notifications from their programs that say you must do it by this date and go to pamedsoc.org to do it, because PAMed does not charge for resident membership, nor does most of the county medical societies. So we've had record numbers of residents becoming members because their programs are sending them to us for this education. So what that then has turned into is that we have a whole bunch more who are rolling from their last year of residency to their first year of practice that we just didn't even have on the books before. So we had about 1,500 roll from, I'm in my last year, at some point in 2019, they finished their residency. So in 2020, they were in their first year of practice, and so they got a bill from us for $95. I am happy to say 90 of them did become members. So it was beneficial to us, but you can see that we also dropped a number that did not renew. Many of them also aren't here. So they finished their residency and they went, home, so to speak, or they went to wherever they plan to practice. And obviously some of them stayed in Pennsylvania. So it's positive, but it also, we had to drop several of them as well. The other thing that was really unique in 2019 is we had 2,500 people join for $95. Never, ever, ever have we had nearly that many join for $95. Unfortunately, we have only retained, I think it's about 600 of those thus far. And that's way low compared to what we typically retain at least 50% of the $95 people. So those two things I think contribute to us being a little behind. I do think we will somewhat make that number up in the coming months because we do see our membership increase the closer we get to license renewal. So in the coming months, we will be doing many recruitments that are focused on the CME offerings that we have. So with that, one last thing I wanted to show. Did my screen change to the FAQ here?
No, I don't see that.
Okay, that's what I was concerned about. Let me go back here. So we have kind of going back to what I was referencing before, we have lots of people coming to us for CME, and as the closer we get to either October 31st for the DOs or December 31st for the MDs, we get more people. So now are you guys seeing my CME screen?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So if you go to pamedsoc.org/CME, or from the homepage, if you click here on education and go to CME, you will see that we have our CME offerings here. So we have the opioid CME, and that will actually be updated in the coming month. We did get a grant from the Department of Health to update our opioid CME. So in the next, I'd say 30 days, you're gonna see updated information here. So if you already took our opioid CME, you will see new offerings there. And the child abuse, and then the CME consult. So these three offerings cover the state's requirements. So the state requires opioid education, the state requires the child abuse education, and the state requires 12 patient safety or risk management CME credits. So we get a lot of members coming to us for that throughout the year as we get closer to licensure. So if you get questions about that, I would encourage you to send them here. Because the opioids education is through a grant, anybody can access that, including non-physicians if they need that education as well. The child abuse and the patient safety risk management CME is only available to our members. And so as you can imagine, we have quite a few people joining us to access that. The other thing, and the last thing I want to share with you is the MD and DO, the license requirement links here on the side. Those cover the most frequently asked questions that we start to receive as we get closer to licensure. We get lots and lots of calls in license renewal years. And so we do try to populate the most frequently asked questions here for both MDs and DOs so that people can see, you know, what is required, what they need to do, that kind of thing. So I wanted to call your attention to that. So I know that's a headache for a lot of physicians to find those things that Pennsylvania is requiring, and that's sort of our niche as a Pennsylvania organization that we're making that available to everybody. And it's a nice way for non-members to see really quickly the value. Hey, you know, I need this, and they've got it for me, and many people will join for that reason. So that is what I've got for you guys today. Is there A, any questions on anything I discussed, and B, any suggestions for our next webinar that you would like to know more about?
I had a question from, it's Joe Laskus from our Delaware County exec about new membership. We had some applications come in and they didn't have like their home address or their work address, so we didn't know where exactly, if they were living in the county or if they just worked in the county. And he was asking about the application, if we can require addresses or you know, more information when people apply for the first time, or if there are barriers to collecting that info when they initially sign up.
We do, and I did share a list with him of what we do require. I think we do require a address, but I don't think we require both addresses. I can send you all a list of what is required. Our application is fairly extensive online. And we actually have data to show we kind of lose some people because we require so much information. I'm not inclined to require more for that reason. But I do encourage, you know, any county executives or leadership to feel free to reach out to their new members and ask them for more information. You know, it may be a wonderful opportunity to introduce yourselves and to invite them to meetings and to get to know them. And we certainly would appreciate, you know, receiving any additional information that you're able to obtain through that process. We have a full staff of people working on data every day. I will tell you, it is a mammoth process to keep up with the information that we receive. But I will follow up and share. I don't know exactly what is off the top of my head that is required, but I will be happy to share that.
Great, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Seacos, just two comments, I think. First, just for informational, we're using it. Our county medical society this month is actually what we dedicated it was to a seminar, CME, for the child abuse in conjunction with PA Med. And that's scheduled this month where, you know, even retired docs have to do that and are not aware of completing that requirement. And a second comment for information, I actually accessed the CME myself within the last week and wanted to do the opioid just so I can relate that to our medical staff. And when you can't seem to connect IT, so then you go to, you know, Google Chrome to be able to access that CME. And of course, it went right through there.
Right. Yeah, it does. But that's an excellent point. It does not work in Explorer, and if your computer is still opening Explorer, which mine was, the kind of the way everything is going is away from Explorer, and that we do get that question often. Thank you. Yes, opening it in Chrome or Firefox or one of the newer browsers is definitely a good idea.
Because all it does is just keep circulating on the Explorer, and then people would tend to just, you know, leave that, just shut it down the computer without accessing Chrome or whatever.
Is there any other questions I can answer for you guys at this time? Or again, any ideas for future webinars? Okay, well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. And if you think of something later or you think of something through your daily interactions with members or non-members, please feel free to send me a message and give me an idea for the next time. I appreciate it. Have a great day, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.